As they say, all good things must come to an end. And we have neared the end of the road of plus and minus, and I've had quite a fun time talking about Animal Kingdom and Universal and SeaWorld and Hollywood Studios and Epcot. Now we've come to our logical conclusion. The final plus and minus today will be about the Magic Kingdom. Now, I'm not exactly sure what's going to be replacing plus and minus on Saturdays. I still have to consider that this week. I've got a lot of time to think about it. So, this is Oscar weekend, and I'm preparing for the Independent Spirit Awards right now, tonight, and tomorrow's Oscar ceremony. So, there's been a lot on my mind, and I was trying to focus my energies on this video today, because I wanted to give everyone a really good video. When you look at the Magic Kingdom, there's a lot of things that could be repainted or retooled, but really, when it's all said and done, there's really not much that I would get rid of, honestly. I mean, you could make a case for the Jungle Cruise, because that's a big piece of property, and yeah, it is. Or the island, which is a really big piece of property, but this stuff has its place. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Hall of Presidents whatsoever, but there's people that like it, so I can't get rid of it. And I'm pretty much to the point now that I've decided that there's not much I can do with it. So what do I do? Well, I thought about it, and I thought about it, and I thought about it, and I came up with this logical conclusion. I have a few notepad messages here. Actually, I'll just get myself all comfortable here. So, I'm going to look at my notes here, and I'm going to do it from this perspective, because ride-wise, there's really not much of change, but I can get to some of that later. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is New Fantasyland. Okay, I was in attendance for the grand opening of New Fantasyland on December 6th. The big, ginormous celebration that was there when, of course, Jennifer Goodwin showed up, and Joanne Worley showed up, and Jodie Benson showed up, and it was pretty awesome. And actually, I'll show you something real quick while I'm thinking about it. I have a little memento from that day. I am a pack rat, by and large, but I like to collect things, and I have something from that day that not many others have. Now, after the announcement was made and Fantasyland was officially open and all the hoopla died down, anyway, after all that died down, I went to a cast member, and I said, hey, I collect things, and I really, really want one of those awesome lanyards you have. How could I get one? Because, actually, I found out that the people that were there for the press event all had really awesome lanyards. Some were gold, some were green, some were silver, and some were black. Different designations for different color lanyards. I got that real quick. I wanted one. I didn't care about having power by having one, or a semblance of power, or being able to go different places that I shouldn't be allowed to. But I wanted one. And you know what? I talked to the cast member by the partner statue, and she took it right off of her neck and gave it right to me. So I have it right here. This is the New Fantasyland press event lanyard. See, right here. And I found out real quick that black means event staff. So there's this is the events. This is for cast members only. Cast members are the only ones that had these. They had black lanyards. On the back, of course, you have New Fantasyland, New Test Track, and Splitsville. If you want to see it fully, if you look at it closely, you see Splitsville, Test Track, and barely there, New Fantasyland. So, something I have from the celebration that you couldn't buy, excuse me, something that you couldn't get on eBay, Well, I haven't looked, but I'm sure it's not there. But something that only people that were press and friends of press and cast working the event had. And it was pretty awesome. I enjoyed being there for the opening of New Fantasyland. I have the t-shirt. I was their t-shirt. I have the pin. I was their pin. I didn't just buy it on eBay. I actually got it at the event itself. Now, I do want to talk about that real quick. Now, New Fantasyland, I got to experience in the days before the actual grand opening because I wanted to ride everything and do all the experiences before its actual grand opening because it was going to be a madhouse back there. And sure enough, I went back there on December 6th just to see what it looked like, and it was crazy. There was media everywhere. They were set up everywhere. They were shooting video. They were taking pictures. There was just everything. And of course the celebrities, like I mentioned earlier. And with that pass, which I wore around my neck, not to get any specific privilege or anything, I just wore it because I liked it. I thought it was cool. And at the Bridge to Be Our Guest, I was told by a upper level cast member, I'm guessing someone in management, that I need to take that off right now. It's cool that I have it, it's fine, but don't wear it because I'm not allowed to. Because no one knows if I'm really cast or not. Granted, I guarantee I do come off as I would be cast, so I probably could have got in. There were 2 events left. One was the Test Track Acceleration, which I probably could have got into, but I was at Universal that night for TNA, so that wasn't an option. And also, on top of that, there was the Splitsville opening the next morning, which I was going to try to get into as well, but then I thought, you know, if they catch me, then I could get in trouble. Not bad trouble, they just told me to go away, but that'd be embarrassing. So no, I just used it as a memento of the trip, and that was really cool. Now, New Fantasyland, I like it very well. I like Mermaid, but the attraction queue is phenomenal. That's what makes it really for me. The attraction queue itself is absolutely incredible. But when it comes down to it, the ride is basically just another Omnimover, kind of like the Seas with Nemo and Friends. And it's the same exact ride, of course, that's at California Adventure now. But it was good. I like how they escalate the ride wait. So you'd think that you're waiting 60 minutes, so that will turn some people off and make them not want to ride. And when they do that, that allows the people that were smart enough to realize Disney elevates their times for their waits. It basically lets them get in and ride the ride. Because we know better, honestly. If it says 60-minute wait, guarantee that's not true. Even touring plans knows that that's not true. But I like the New Fantasyland area. The Wi-Fi in New Fantasyland was actually good too. Gaston's Tavern was fine. I like the Beauty and the Beast area for a lot of reasons. I have become really, really big on Beauty and the Beast. And I really enjoyed the area itself. I really liked Enchanted Tales with Belle. I enjoyed myself completely there. I love how it immersed everyone in the experience. You went through the wardrobe, and you met Lumiere, and of course Belle shows up, and they reenact the story of Beauty and the Beast, which was awesome, and it was really cool to watch. I got some great pictures from in there. A lot of them you can notice on my MySpace page. If you want to find my MySpace page, it's on myspace.com/project, Projekt, Ego, Sir Owen, and just look for my pictures. And you don't have to add me on MySpace or anything like that. It's just basically there so I can show you my pictures. And it's got all my pictures from every single Disney trip I've ever taken, except for the earlier ones because I don't really have any pictures of that. Now, I do have pictures, and I did find pictures from my 1990 trip. So if I can ever get them scanned sometime when my mom has a lot of time home, I probably will put those on the internet as well, because those are those are really, really awesome pictures from a long time ago. I'm not going to put the pictures of me what I wore back then because it's a little embarrassing. So needless to say, like this isn't, but I don't care. Honestly, I'll probably put them up anyway because everyone wants to see my first trip to the Magic Kingdom and Universal Studios Florida back in 1990. So, New Fantasyland was awesome. I enjoyed it. And you know, Lafours Brew, really? To being a frozen apple juice with a mango foam on top, it was actually enjoyable. I don't like apple juice. I have literally had apple juice once in my entire life. And that was, well, that's another story altogether. But when it comes down to it, someone gave it to me, so obviously I had it. But other than that, I don't like apple juice. Orange juice is awesome. I love pomegranate juice, but I found out I don't like pomegranate juice by itself. It has to be with something. Pomegranate juice by itself tastes really, really bad. So I don't mind it as like a syrup or an add-on to something, but needless to say, I don't like it by itself. I love orange juice, but obviously I don't like the pulp. So, we'll get off that tangent there. It was good. I liked Lafours Brew. It's no butter beer, but it's good. It's something I would drink again. Maybe something I wouldn't drink every time, but something I would probably drink again. And with Universal opening Transformers in the next couple months, I would say that Energon is coming to Universal. I'm hoping it does, actually. So I can get some of that as well. It's an awesome frozen orange drink. And of course, everyone knows I'm all about awesome frozen orange drinks. Reminds me back of the days of the Donald Duck orange juice bars at Animal Kingdom. Those things were incredible, and you only could get them at Animal Kingdom. But anyway, like I said, New Fantasyland. I love the Beauty and the Beast area. Obviously, I can't pass judgment on the Snow White area because the mine train was not ready. It's looking really good, folks. I'll tell you right now, they're talking spring 2014. I say there is a possibility, and I'm not just basing this on the fact that I heard Noel and Scopa and Testa and Hochberg talk about it on WDW Today's podcast. I think it's a serious possibility if Universal can get Transformers completely erected and built in 9 months. I think that we could see soft opens for the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train before this year is over. Now, it may not be until the very end of the year, like I'm probably looking at a December, but the pictures I've seen lately, honestly, it looks like, obviously it's still got plenty to go, but still, I mean, it's only February, so it's a possibility that come December, we could see soft opens, folks. It very well could happen. Now, spring 2014, I think it's going to open way before then, but that was a good placeholder because you didn't know exactly what the elements and exactly how it was going to take its toll. So, who knows about that? I think it will open, so I can't really say anything about the Snow White experience of New Fantasyland yet. And of course, the Princess Fantasy Fair is not opening until later this year, so it's going to be interesting to see how that works out. I like the idea of Princess Fantasy Fair. It fits really well with the Fantasyland, and it replaces, of course, Snow White's Adventure. And I'll tell you right now, it's going to be a great area. I think these new interactive meet and greets are going to be phenomenal. And if they go kind of like how Enchanted Tales with Belle is, I think they're going to be really amazing. So, New Fantasyland was great. Actually, Storybook Circus is fine. I have no problem with Storybook Circus. I don't mind the new Dumbo queue. It's interesting. I like the double Dumbo. And I actually got to ride it about 5 times in a row in December because the cast members working really didn't have anybody else riding. So it was kind of like, hey, just ride it. I haven't rode the Barnstormer yet. I'll do that in September. Well, of course I've rode the Barnstormer, but I haven't rode the Barnstormer since the Great Goofini overlay that they put on for Storybook Circus. But I'm interested to ride that. Casey Jr., that area, I'm staying the heck away from, to be totally honest, because that's just begging to get wet. I like the bathrooms over in New Fantasyland section of Storybook Circus. That's pretty cool. They're actually pretty nice. I don't know why. I just kind of stumbled in there one night, and they're pretty cool. They're actually nice bathrooms. So, that's my opinion on Storybook Circus, and that's my opinion on New Fantasyland. So I really don't have to discuss those now. Now, Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom is an awesome idea, and I am proud to say that I am on medium difficulty now because I actually beat Sorcerers in December, and it was awesome. The problem is, once you get those 60 cards, those 60 cards are all that's in the packs. Obviously, 61 through 70 is not available, except through the booster packs. And you know, I don't want to pay money for the booster packs. I understand people do, but I don't want to pay money not guaranteeing I'm going to get one. And if I buy 5, I don't want to get 5 of the same card. I don't want to try to get 5 Hercules or 5 Mr. Incredible. I don't want to try to get that. I need to guarantee I'm going to get one of the 10 I need. Then, on top of Sorcerers, there are the cards that were released for the Halloween party, which was Chippendale, and the card for the Christmas party, which was the Elves from Prep and Landing. So, I think there's money to be made with more Sorcerers cards being released. I think Sorcerers has only one major problem. Well, a couple major problems. One, a couple of the kiosks actually, or the magic portals, didn't work. And they didn't work for a long time, and they were never fixed. And that sucks, because that eliminates that area from being used. And if you're stuck on that area, you literally have to go back to the firehouse or to over to Liberty Square and talk to a cast member and get that changed. So, not a good idea. And also, the lines, I'm telling you right now, I knew it was going to be popular, but not necessarily this popular. I mean, I was waiting outside the riverboat, the kiosk right there, the magic portal that's close to where the trick-or-treat trail is, the Princess and the Frog themed trick-or-treat trail is for the Halloween party. You know exactly what I'm talking about. And I had like 5 people in line. And it's not just people that have cards. There's people that have binders of cards. And I understand the awesomeness of using more than one card. It's really cool. But especially when the animations mix, I think it's really awesome the way that happens. And I think it's really well done. But when it comes down to it, honestly, there's got to be something you can do about it. I mean, eventually it's going to get to the point, it's going to get so popular, there's going to be queue lines. Like literally queue lines set up for Sorcerers and all the different kiosks and the different magical portals. But that being said, when the new Fantasyland opening on December 6th, I don't know why there wasn't a card. I mean, there was rumors that there was going to be a Sorcerer's card release for that event. I don't know why that didn't happen. And another thing about Sorcerers I would do, 2 things. One, we need it in the new Fantasyland section of Fantasyland. I think there needs to be kiosks there. I think that I want to see it brought in Tomorrowland if they're not going to revamp Tomorrowland. And I've heard rumors that they're going to. And I think that's, I mean, if the contract ever decided to go by the wayside, it would be a possibility to bring in what they were talking about doing at Disneyland, which is turning Innoventions into Stark Industries. So to bring in the Marvel characters into Tomorrowland is the only place in the Magic Kingdom it would fit. And still, I would be really weary about doing that. But, because the futuristic area makes sense, but it's the Magic Kingdom. I mean, don't mess with the Magic Kingdom, honestly. There's a lot of diehards, and I am one of them, that basically say that there's certain things you don't mess with. I mean, there's certain things, yeah, we can plus this, we could get rid of this, but no, it's, when it all comes down to it, you don't want to get rid of these attractions because they're iconic attractions. And, I mean, adding characters, adding Jack Sparrow and Davy Jones to Pirates, that's fine, but I mean, that's about as far as you can go. And the Disney characters at Small World, that's fine because they do it at Disneyland, so I mean, but there's a couple things I do want to see happen, and I want to talk about those in a minute. So, it's time to plus the parties. There is a nice upcharge. There's like we're going to get to the point very soon that we're going to have the Halloween party and the Christmas party are going to be close to $90. And you know, for $90, I mean, granted, you can get in the park at 4 o'clock. Most people don't know that, but if you get in the park at 4 o'clock, so you can stay 4 to 12. So you can get a really good chunk of time in the parks without having to have an actual park ticket. You have the ticket, utilize one of your park days. It's really good for people that are kind of don't want to buy that extra park day and they don't really need it. So what you do is before the day, you can just do something during the day, like Disney Quest, or you could do Splitsville in this case. You can go to the water parks, or if you really want to, you can go off property. You can do SeaWorld, do Legoland, something to start the rest of the day, the half of the day, which is what I do. I do SeaWorld. And then go to the party that night, like 5 or 6 maybe. That's what I do because that's how it works. It works really well for me. But you got to do something new. I mean, getting rid of Lights of Winter, I know a lot of people are upset about that. And I don't understand why Epcot did that, to be totally honest. And the Tomorrowland Christmas show, like the castle stage at Tomorrowland, and we got rid of that. Just a lot of things that shouldn't have been got rid of. Honestly, I like the Christmas party. I love the Halloween party. I think they're great. But there needs to be something different. I mean, I don't know exactly what you do, but at this point you have to do something because you can't do the same things over and over again. I mean, you can, obviously. I'm proof positive because I'll go every year. But, and even knowing I'm not going to see anything different at all. I'm probably going to get about the same candy, and I'm going to have about the same experience, meets about the same characters, but the big thing for me, personally, is Boo to You and Hallowishes. That 1-2 punch is absolutely incredible. But, find a way, whatever it would take, to plus the Halloween party and the Christmas party to make them new and fresh again. I mean, you could add new trick-or-treat stations, you could do that. I mean, there's got to be something that could be done. And there's been rumors about a holiday event, a Halloween event at the studios, more themed towards, like, more dark, more, not necessarily, we're not talking Halloween Horror Nights or anything, but, I mean, just a little bit more dark and sinister than Mickey's very, well, long day. Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, so there's always that. Speaking of overlays, and I do want to talk about that, Disneyland's got something that we need, like, we need yesterday, to be totally honest. And it's 2 major overlays for the holidays. And I think it would work really well. Now, it works really well at Disneyland, so I think it would work even better here. Take Small World, and you theme it for Christmas. You do Small World Holiday. And yes, what we do is we take the Haunted Mansion and we retheme it for Christmas. And yes, we get the Haunted Mansion Holiday overlay. Which if you've never been to Disneyland and you're not able to go to Disneyland, I'd watch the YouTube videos, honestly. Like, go watch them. I mean, after this, obviously, watch this first. But go watch the YouTube videos of the run-through, like the ride-through of Haunted Mansion Holiday. If you are a fan of Tim Burton, which I obviously am not, and actually shot on him during a, in line, talking to the people that were in my group. I did the Walk and Waltz Foots, wow. I did the Christmas tour over at Disneyland. And, basically it got me admission to Haunted Mansion Holiday and Small World Holiday and, of course, special seating for the Christmas time parade. And it was awesome. I enjoyed it very much. And lines-wise, it wasn't bad. I mean, it's really decent. But when it came all said and done, I realized right then and there, I love the way that it's creepy, it's freaky, it utilizes the Nightmare Before Christmas characters, which really are not in the parks. Obviously, we saw Jack Skellington and Sally at Downtown Disney earlier last year, and that worked pretty well. But I think there's money to be made with using the NBC characters at Walt Disney World. And where better to do it than Magic Kingdom. And I think there's Magic Kingdom overlay of Haunted Mansion would be amazing. And I think it'd work really, really well. Now, another thing I want to talk about, other than overlays. Yep, it's my parks. I'm plus and minusing this, and I'm getting rid of Stitch. You know, Stitch is oversaturated to say the least. I mean, I don't know what I see more of. Stitch or Pirates or just It's insane. Stitch's Great Escape I have a problem with anyway, because number one, it tries to kill me every time. Because for some reason, I'm always one of the last ones in, and I have to go to the bottom, and being 5'9", and poo-sized, I kind of have a problem with being crushed by the mechanism when it comes down. So when the harness comes over me, it tries to kill me. So I'm not a big fan of Stitch. I liked Alien Encounter. I thought it was really awesome, really well done. But I don't think Alien Encounter would work unless you make Tomorrowland a little bit darker. And I think with the Brad Bird Tomorrowland movie, I think you might be able to do just that. And if you can do that, I think it is time to bring Alien Encounter back. I think Alien Encounter would fit really well with a dark Tomorrowland. So that's what I would do. Another thing I want to see. I remember when Luxo Jr. was at the studios. I even have pictures, actually. And there's not many people who even saw Luxo Jr., much less have pictures. So, that they took themselves. And I do remember that they were testing out an animatronic for Wally to just move around the parks and everything. And I think that's a missed opportunity. I think that Wally really needs to come into a park. And Wally fits really well in Tomorrowland. I'm not exactly sure what you would do. I think I'm hearing rumors of like a dark ride, like a Wally dark ride. Maybe go through By and Large. You'd possibly do that. And then, of course, we get to the end we're riding in our little loungers and everything's great. And then something goes wrong. And then Wally and Eve have to save us before we're taken down by the machine. So, that could work. But either way, I'd like to see that happen. Tomorrowland Speedway, you could retheme it towards cars, but with Cars Land supposedly coming to Hollywood Studios, can't really do that. I would turn it back into Autopia, because I like Autopia better than Tomorrowland Speedway, or you just get rid of it and you build something else. And if you want to rebuild it, and get rid of something else, I'd talk about another thing that the Magic Kingdom has in California that we don't have here, and that's the Matterhorn. Now, obviously, the Matterhorn is the first tubular coaster in the world. And steel tube coaster in the world. Now, I like the Matterhorn, and I think now you could take the technology that we have currently, and we could have like a Matterhorn Revenge style ride. I know that sounds like a name you get at like a Six Flags park or just a local amusement park, but when it comes down to it, I take the Matterhorn and you just like plus it. I mean, I guess you could say the Matterhorn Plus would be Expedition Everest, but I like the Matterhorn, and I think that it would have worked really well here, because I really like it done. I like the same kind of elements here. Obviously, we're not going to use the Yeti. We do something a little bit different. And, I mean, you could retheme it towards something if you really wanted to do that. But then you got Space Mountain right beside, and then down yonder you have the new Big Thunder Mountain with the interactive queue. So, I don't think that'd really work very well. But, something to think about. And, if you really am turning characters in flight into an up attraction, that would be interesting. But, I mean, we've already talked Downtown Disney, and I don't really want to talk about it right now because Downtown Disney is done for Plus and Minus. But I think that would be a good idea. I mean, if you don't want to get rid of the Speedway, retheme it, retool it, make it so you can drive a little bit faster, and you're not on the same circuit. I think you actually change it so you make it more like a go-kart experience than just on a track. I think that would work pretty well. The only problem is you'd have people crashing into each other, and that'd be funny to watch, but probably very costly and problematic in the long run. People would have to wear helmets. So can't really do anything there. Now, another thing too I want to talk about is Glow with the Show. Disneyland actually had a great idea, and they brought up mouse ears that glow during their... This sounds bad. Glow during their shows, actually. Works really well during Fantasmic, and I know that TDO really wants to see this brought here, to this side of the country. Now, I think that it would work really well. I think you push it with wishes, obviously, and you use it and utilize it for Celebrate the Magic. And we just use that to start to see if it would work. And then after that, we can go to Illuminations, then we go to Phantasmic, and we can also use it for something else. And I'll bring that up right now. I think 2013 will be the final year of the Main Street Electrical Parade. I say that it is really good of a wow, that was a really bad statement. Really good of a possibility, really. It is a really good possibility, and pretty possible. Wow, that's just like redundant right there. I think personally that I like the Main Street Electrical Parade, but you know what? I always have it in the back of my head, and although it's repetitive, I have got to watch it numerous times. I had a really interesting view of it watching it from Liberty Square in December this year. It was really interesting. And but there's always another that I miss very much, and that's Spectra Magic. I miss Spectra Magic so much. I mean, Main Street Electrical Parade, I mean, personally when I think of that, I think Disneyland. I think it fits Disneyland really well. But Spectra Magic is ours. I mean, it belongs to the Magic Kingdom, and it belongs at the Magic Kingdom. And I think 2013, it will return to the Magic Kingdom. And what we do is, you know, the new Shanghai Disneyland Resort that's being built is supposed to open in 2015. I guess it broke ground in 2011. You send it there. So the Main Street Electrical Parade goes to Shanghai Disneyland, and we get Spectra Magic back. Or another choice we could go is we get a brand new parade in its place. I'm not exactly sure what it would be themed towards or what it would do, but I think it would be time for a new parade that's completely different from Spectro or Main Street Electrical Parade, but have the same kind of mechanics as it does. So, and last thing I want to talk about here is what they're doing in Adventureland, and they're going to bring in a brand new game. Now, the brand new game that we're talking about here is themes towards pirates. And we've already got Sorcerers here. It's an interactive game, and now we've got this Pirates Adventure Jewels of the Seven Seas. Now, they're taking the RFID experience, making the Adventureland spot in Magic Kingdom, making the land into an interactive playground. Now, apparently, from what I've been reading, guests will be able to shoot the cannons on top of the Pirates Fortress, Q, interact with animatronic dolls, parrots, and even snakes, that's gonna suck, and search for an open treasure chest that's been left open somewhere in Adventureland. Now, apparently, what I'm hearing, there's going to be two versions of this. One is going to be the regular one you can play in the park. The other one is going to have a price point on it. Somewhere between the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique and the Wild Africa Trek, which is really interesting because that's a big price point right there. But apparently there's going to be a big reward because apparently the treasure that you're going to get is going to be an actual treasure. Like a really hardcore piece of something that you're going to be taking back with you. Basically, they're saying it's going to be a very expensive keepsake. So, it's going to be interesting to see when that happens with that. And how I'm going to be able to handle audio animatronic snakes that are probably going to look a whole lot more lifelike than the Jungle Cruise. So, that's going to suck. And most likely December will see me freak out when I do it, personally. But looks awesome. I like the interactive games. I like the fact that Wilderness Explorers is coming to Animal Kingdom finally. We beta tested it in 2011, and that was back in September in 2011. So they've had it on the back burner this long. I think it's going to work really well. If you haven't heard about it, I know this is about Magic Kingdom, but basically if you haven't heard about Wilderness Explorers, basically you're going, we did it at the Pagani Forest Trail, and basically you're trying to earn a merit badge. You're doing different things to earn the merit badge, like you're finding soil samples, and you're bird watching, and basically trying to complete the sentence, and you're talking to adventure guides to try to figure out exactly what the answers to the questions are. It was really fun. It was really enjoyable. And I think it's actually going to bring some people into Animal Kingdom, since at this point it seems like James Cameron has become too difficult to work with, and very soon, since I'm hearing that they're doing away with Camp Mini Mickey and Festival of the Lion King that was supposed to be gone now so they could start breaking ground for Avatar, but it's not happening and they're rehiring now. So maybe it's a little bit more trouble than it's worth. I mean, obviously James Cameron is a whole lot more trouble than it's worth. But with buying Star Wars now, maybe it's time to do something else. Like, plus the park in a whole different way. But I like that idea. I think that'd work really well. The Pirate and Princess Party, I might bring it back, honestly. I think that it did really well, and I would like to see it in different parts of the year. More Dapper Dans. I enjoy the Dapper Dans and everything they do, but they're not out as much as I would like them to be. So, the interactive characters on Main Street, I don't really see them as much as I'd like to as well. I mean, you could take out Space Mountain and like completely gut it and change it into a brand new Space Mountain, more kind of like the one at Disneyland, which is a lot better. But I wouldn't do that. I mean, I don't want to close Space Mountain for a couple years in order to do that. That'd just be crazy. I'm not getting rid of the Carousel of Progress as much as there's a lot of things you could do with it. I think it's iconic, and I think it fits really well in the park, so I wouldn't do anything with it. I keep the Jungle Cruise, I keep the Tiki Room, I keep Pirates the way it is. When the new movie comes out, maybe bring in a character from it, another audio animatronic, or you can do something with the misting effect, like they do with Barbossa and Davy Jones. So, you can do that. There's a lot of things you can do at the Magic Kingdom, but there's not really a lot of things you can do at Magic Kingdom, if that makes any sense whatsoever. So, that's pretty much, that's all I can really do with the Magic Kingdom, actually. I think My Magic Plus is a good idea. I think it's going to work really well. I think once they figure out how to get it to work for annual pass holders, it's going to be amazing. And I really like the fact that you can design your own My Magic Plus band, because the people like us, the annual pass holders that go frequently, we're not going to want the same strap on our wrist. The thing is, though, I can understand where people are saying that in the 90-degree Florida sun, it's not going to be fun to have a piece of leather on your wrist. It's going to be really problematic for sweating, but I think they obviously thought about that before they decided to do it in the first place. So we'll see how that works out. I know there's a lot of things about Tangled, that there's supposed to be a new meet and greet that's over by the old Belle Storytime with Belle location, right behind the castle, and that way you get to Fantasyland, and you do something with that. I think Tangled works really well for that Magic Kingdom. I think it fits really well because it's more of a storybook type. I don't think Tangled fits very well for the studios, and I hear that's what they're turning Beauty and the Beast into. But then again, that's only rumors, and rumors are rumors until they're official. So, until they've been made official on the internet, either the WDW Today live podcast, or the Dis Unplugged, or even the Disney website, it's not official yet. So, also look at Screamscape and all ears. So, I think I've covered all bases there. Mouse Planet, too. Sorry. I have to make sure I put over Mouse Planet, too. But touring planes as well. So, anyway, I'll stop name dropping now. I'm going to get off here. Thanks again for watching all the plus and minus videos. If you haven't watched the plus and minus videos, go back and watch the other ones. Obviously, go back and watch Animal Kingdom, Universal Studios, Islands of Adventure, SeaWorld, Disney's Hollywood Studios, and Epcot. And now we end personally with the Magic Kingdom. So, hope you enjoyed plus and minus. Next Saturday, I'm not exactly sure yet. I have to formulate an idea for a new segment. And I got to talk to Will about his segment that is coming in the next couple of weeks for a regular segment for him. And obviously, AJ's Weekend Movie Reviews will be tomorrow. And like I said, tonight is the Film Independent Spirit Awards. And hopefully the ICCs for the Movie Awards Forum on IMDb. And tomorrow is the big one. Tomorrow is the Academy Awards. So, if you like any of those things, if you like any of the award show stuff, I've got a lot of that content on this YouTube channel. If you haven't seen, I have, well, my Razzie predictions are. The Razzies are tonight as well. And, of course, my Spirit Award predictions. It's all in one video. If you're a wrestling fan, I'm also talking about Jack Swagger's recent arrest. And I've talked about the Golden Globes. I've talked about the BAFTAs. So you can go back and watch those videos. And I have an hour and 12-minute Oscar prediction video. If you want to watch that, you're more than welcome to. And once again, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for subscribing. And like I said, if you like the videos, tell your friends. And get as many subscribers as we can, guys, because I'm trying my best to get at least 20 by the time I go home this year. So we've got until September 19th to get me at least 20 subscribers on the YouTube channel. And I am hoping to hit 3,000 YouTube views by, well, by the summer, by June or July. So that's what I'm shooting for. But I'm going to get off here. Thanks again for watching, and enjoy your weekend. And for those of you like me that are ready for it, enjoy the Oscars tomorrow. And until tomorrow, that's all I got to say about that.